With playing so many games, especially as a means to provide more content to all of you, there are times where I honestly just want something a bit familiar. I do love trying out the latest and greatest, along with exploring titles that might be in need of more attention. But there are also times where I want something that I kinda know what I'm getting into, something maybe even cliched in some respects. I felt this way with Trinity Trigger, which ended up being a title that I think could use some more attention as well. This delightful JRPG very much captured my attention, and is easily one of 2023's overlooked and underrated games, and I thought today it would be a good opportunity to shed some more light on it again.
This will come in handy.
Trinity Trigger was a title that started out making me feel a bit like I have been here before. Now I don't mean that as a negative at all. It's a title that if you've played any manner of JRPGs before, you can kinda know what to expect. At the same time, it can be a really nice starting point for anyone looking to dive into the genre as well. As I kept playing Trinity Trigger, it was hitting all the expected checkboxes while providing its own bit of uniqueness to keep things both familiar and fresh. When discussing this title, I relate it to comfort food, plus the added charm from its world, characters, and narrative only help the experience. Is this genre defining? No, it doesn't have to be. It is very fun and exactly what I was looking for. Gameplay-wise, Trinity Trigger is a mix of action and exploration. The bulk of the game is centered on several dungeons that you will venture through. Most battles play out rather quick as you usually need to contend with a few different types of foes. The trick is you need to figure out how to manage your stamina, evade at the right time, and then attack appropriately. Combat has an enjoyable flow to it as well, and you are rewarded by learning enemy attacks and knowing when the best time to react is. Dungeons themselves provide their own uniqueness to each one. Monsters tend to be new in each of them, but how you traverse those areas can change as well. From finding weakened walls, contending with traps, or even using teleports to hopefully find the end. So let's explore the combat a bit further. There is a stamina bar you will need to manage for every fight. This is represented by the blue circle above your character. Striking an enemy will use up some of your stamina. Now the interesting thing is that you can choose to attack an enemy even if you do not have any stamina left. You'll be able to land hits, but you won't be able to do much damage. Damage is significantly reduced when you are empty. Stamina will regenerate over time, so you could pull yourself out of the fight and then wait till you have some stamina before you go back on the offensive. But Trinity Trigger has a fun evade mechanic that actually plays into your stamina regeneration as well. So as your main means of defense, you can roll. If you can roll right before an enemy attack would connect with you, then this will provide you with some stamina back instantly. It is important to note too that rolling does not cost you any stamina, so if you need to go full defense, you don't need to worry about your stamina at all. But with how the attacking, evading, and stamina works, I noticed that Trinity Trigger has a flow of sorts to its combat. It rewards you for reading your opponent's actions, evading at the right time. Evading at the right time means you can always be on the offensive, dishing out as much damage as possible. How everything works together with the combat produces this simple yet very enjoyable system. Now for most of the game, you'll have a party of 3. While in single player, you can only control one party member at a time, but you can switch to them at any point if you want. For the most part, the AI does do a fine job on their own, and they will often help you out. I do wish that there was a way to set behaviors for each of your AI teammates, sort of like how it can be done in the Tales of series. This would allow the player to have more control over their team if they so choose. For example, it would be nice to set a behavior if their health reaches below 25%, then they will automatically use a healing item. Or maybe they notice that you are low and heal you. Maybe this is something that they can implement in a potential sequel. A nice addition is that once you unlock each of your party members, then you can play the entire game in local 3-play co-op. Each of the characters come with their own weapons as well. You'll be using swords, bows, a gun, axe, a lance, and a few others. A few weapons are specific to each character, so it's fun to try out the different characters throughout the game, as they have different weapons that might fit a playstyle that you like more. And you'll be switching weapons throughout the game, and in many of the late game fights a lot. Some enemies are resistant to certain weapons and are weak against others, so you might need to experiment to deal the most damage. Each of your weapons have a set of combos that can be performed. Within the menus, you can toy around with what moves you perform with your combo attack. The customization is not that extensive here, but there is a minor amount of tweaking which is appreciated. For example, you may want to go for attacks that are better while focusing on a single foe, or hitting a wider area, or some even provide you with health each time you hit something. Customization does not end here either. You have 3 slots that you can equip for your offensive buffs, and another 3 for your defensive options. These are tied to each of your weapons, so you can sort of create these different builds depending on how you deck out the weapons that you're going to use. There is even a simple crafting system of crafting new buffs as well. Again, exploration is another key component, and I like how the developers made many of the dungeons feel unique. It's like they gave many of these locations their own unique thing that you need to contend with on top of searching for the exit, fighting monsters, and then opening chests. For example, there is an ice-based dungeon, and much of the ground is hard to move on, as you will slip and slide. There's plenty of spikes that you need to watch out for. On the other hand, there is a desert area with sinkholes, and if you get caught in it, you're pulled into another location, and you need to fight additional enemies. So in that area, you'll want to avoid them, but oddly enough, the sinkholes are used again in another dungeon, and you'll need to use them to progress throughout the area. It's simple stuff, and I appreciate the variety. Side missions are also available, and many of them turn into your typical kill quests. Things get a bit more extensive with the post-game epilogue quests, and some of my favorite quests are the ones with a bit more narrative meat to them. Story-wise, you have seen all of this before, yet I was engaged the entire time. I think much of this is because of the camaraderie between our heroes, Cyan, Elise, and Xantis. They were characters I liked spending time with, and by the end I wanted to see where else this world and story would take me. Trinity Trigger is a simple yet delightful JRPG. In some ways, it's a good palate cleanser between big titles. The story takes around 20 or so hours, and then add on several more if you complete all the side stuff. The ending provides good closure while keeping it open for a potential sequel. There is something to be said about having a simple yet fun combat system. This title surprised me a bit, just in how much I ended up enjoying it. I can take a while to beat games with my busy schedule, and yet each time I came back to this game, I was delighted again. It was like I was getting another dose of some good JRPG comfort food. I think this was a title that sadly got passed by when it released, and I liked it a lot and would recommend it. Have you played Trinity Trigger? If so, let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested in being notified of new videos, please hit the subscribe button and bell. And if you would like to support the channel and get early access to content, please check out my Patreon. All of the links will be at the end of this video and within the description. And thank you very much for watching.